Today, I want to talk about feedback within the context of leadership as a communication tool that will enable you as a leader or aspiring leader to drive performance, growth, development, motivation. When I speak about feedback, I like to touch on two challenges. First, how can we deliver it effectively? I'll give you a structure for that. I will probably speak about the sandwich and what I think of it. The second challenge, how do we receive it? How open are we to feedback? Because let's face it, it doesn't matter how the other person structures it or delivers it, we still may not like it. That's why when I speak about feedback, it is very important that we begin to be more open and flexible. So regardless of how the other person delivers it, we can always, hopefully, or we can still at least take something away of value. Okay? Because feedback can be a learning opportunity. When I think about the best feedback I've ever received, the one that has helped me the most to progress in my career and life, when I think about that feedback, it was the one I hated the most. And it was the one that got delivered in the worst way possible. It took me a while to play around with it and see what I could learn from it, especially in terms of how it got delivered. But eventually, as I said, it was and it became the greatest learning piece of information I received. So let's begin to flex the feedback muscle in terms of how we receive it. I like to speak about two types of feedback: developmental and motivational. Developmental, things that can be improved in our behaviors or in the behaviors of your team member. This one is aimed at building competence. Motivational, aimed at encouraging a behavior that is working well, that is delivering the intended results. Motivational feedback is intended to build confidence. So you have two types: developmental, motivational. I like to deliver them separately, even if I still deliver them within the same conversation. So two types: to develop competence and to develop confidence. Next, I would like to talk to you about something that could be a little bit controversial. And if this is how you deliver feedback, maybe you can consider a way to improve it, okay? So I'm not going to completely dismiss this, but this is my thinking. And yes, I'm going to be speaking about the sandwich. And if you've heard this before, between the and sandwich, there is a word which I'm not going to be saying in this video. And I know this looks more like a burger. Excuse my drawing skills. The way this feedback works is, imagine that I want to address the fact that you're picking up the phone during our meetings. This is how this could go potentially. Well, imagine, Jose, thank you for coming to the meeting. And your participation is very good. But then sometimes you pick up the phone and, I wish you didn't. But then again, yeah, thank you, because, you're always turning up and we appreciate what you bring to the meetings, for example. Think about it for a moment. What is the message? Are you looking to develop something? Develop a competence? Is it developmental? Is it motivational? What is it? Important when it comes to feedback? Is it actionable? What's the message you're getting from this? It's kind of, yeah, thank you for being here, but then you're picking up the phone. Please try not to do it, but yeah, thank you for your contributions. It may still work. I'm not saying this is completely useless, okay? If you don't give any type of feedback and you start by doing something around these lines, great. But just so you know, this can be improved. And when I speak about feedback, it's always actionable at the end, something for the person to do, to think about, to consider. And generally the sandwich doesn't provide that. I also like feedback to be direct. And when I say direct, I'm not speaking about being rude, okay? It's direct in terms of the message, a concise message, a message that is ABC again, accurate, brief, and clear, and of course, actionable at the end. So let me share with you the structure I like to use instead of the sandwich. This is a structure I recommend. Behavior, impact, suggestion. I'm going to use the same example I used for the sandwich. Jose, you have been picking up the phone in our recent meetings. The impact this is having is that it is distracting our team members, and also it's not enabling you to share as many contributions as you probably could or as you've done in the past. You see? Highlighting the behavior straight away, the impact on others and the impact on the person as well. Suggestion. What could you do differently? Or would you please, it can be more direct, would you please not answer calls during our meetings? Or could you take those phone calls after the meetings? Or even if you want to turn it into a conversation, a back and forth, say, what do you think about this piece of information that I've given you regarding you picking up the phone during our meetings? Am I being aggressive or rude? Actually, quite the opposite. I deeply care for Jose, for the person picking up the phone, and I want to address that behavior. I want that person to have a positive impact, and instead of telling, just do this or don't do that, let's talk about it. Yeah? Another thing I like about this is that it is action-driven. Let's talk about the solution. What are you going to do about it? What do you think? Give this a go. And if you have any questions, drop me a message in the comments. Happy to have a conversation around this. As always, when it comes to communication, be flexible, be curious, experiment with these things. You don't need to do it exactly as I say, but try. Also present it to your team members. See what they think. How should we give feedback to each other moving forward? Have you had that conversation? So what is my invitation? What would I suggest you do? Have a conversation with your team members if you haven't already. Introduce them to feedback. Have the agreement, and the agreement is just that. Hey, how can we give feedback to each other? Can we be more open to feedback moving forward? Explain the benefits. Turn it into a conversation. Yes, I do love the back and forth because that will enable you to build trust and agree on how to move forward. Make it a value for your team. Highlight the importance of feedback, regardless of how it gets delivered sometimes, because this is what will help you, among some other things, of course, this is what will help you and your team to be high performing. Why? Because you will always be improving. You will always be encouraging good behaviors as in motivational. You will always be building competencies through the developmental feedback. And you will also create a sense of honesty, care, and collaboration within your team. Remember, within the context of leadership, feedback will be a very powerful communication tool that will enable you to drive performance, growth, development, motivation. So please use it wisely and flexibly. And on that note, guess what comes next? See you in the next video, and thank you very much for watching.